The Gospel of Gold by G.S. Lewis. Gold woke among his companions to see the sun at the same height it had been by the end of his dream. 2 weeks ago, he might have passed off something like that as chemicals reacting in his brain, but after all the visions and miracles on his journey, he knew it was more than that. From out of his body, he had traveled to the peak of Bell Tower. What did Morty call it? He thought. Astral projection, was Morty's response as they ate their breakfast and packed up camp. After Gold had asked, Morty clarified that it was a secret method he had stumbled upon at a young age. It gave him an edge in the training of ghost-type Pokemon, being able to see what others could not. It was how he had outstripped the competition and become one of the most prominent Pokemon trainers in Johto. Morty regarded Gold with a look of both admiration and jealousy. You've got all these amazing things happening to you, and now you're able to project your consciousness like me, he whined. Come on! Leave a little something for the rest of us to feel unique about. I didn't do it on purpose, Gold protested, before looking nervously at the brightening skyline of Ecruteak City. Besides, you shouldn't envy me. He swallowed, his throat feeling suddenly dry. I am really not looking forward to what I have to do today. What are you saying? Asked Jinichi incredulously as he rolled up his sleeping bag. The last time I saw you in the police station, all you talked about was wanting to go home. And you'll be safe with your dad, Marina chimed in. I know, Gold sighed. But the context has changed. These are the people that all of us have known for all our lives, who live on the doorstep of Johto's most beloved legend. When I tell them that the story has been updated, that the phoenix they worship is just a dim reflection of the true God in heaven, how will they take it? Morty shrugged. Probably not as bad as you seem to think. They know that your dad believes in that Western religious stuff. Yeah, but he mostly kept it to himself, and only taught me a little bit, Gold argued. If I offend them by challenging tradition, we'll both be made social outcasts in our own hometown. Gold's heart pounded frantically as he spoke. I can deal with the Johto League hating me, Team Rocket, and even Silver. He cradled his face in his hands. But I can't face rejection. Not in my own hometown. Camp pack-up was complete, but nobody moved. Marina, Jinichi, and Morty stood quietly, uncertainly, as Gold stared at the ground and breathed through his teeth. His fear had returned. A long silence lingered, and Jinichi shifted his feet nervously. Does the Phoenix know you feel this way? Probably, Gold shrugged, staring dimly at a blade of grass. I didn't think to tell her. I never think these things through ahead of time. Okay, this won't do at all, Marina said loudly. Gold looked up at her, only to just barely react in time as she pushed a large sack into his arms. He looked down at it. A drawstring held it shut, but a sweet smell wafted out. What's this? A bag of mine, for your goldberries. And here's this. Marina thrust a wooden object into his right hand. It was his walking stick, the one Spirit had gifted him for the first true step of his journey. She had held onto it for him. Marina backed up and looked at him, then nodded with hands on her hips. Gold cocked his head, befuddled. Marina? No! Up! Lift Lift your head up! Once more, she reached out and moved his head until his chin tilted up. Morty and Jinichi watched her, both equally confused. She turned on them next. Straighten your postures! When we walk into town, we need to look heroic! But we're not heroes, Jinichi mumbled. 3 days ago, I was wearing a Team Rocket uniform. Yes, and we got you through it, Marina replied, dragging Gold next to him and putting a hand on both of their shoulders. All of us, together! She gave each of them exasperated looks, even Morty. Goodness gracious! Why am I the only one who's rallying everybody? You guys have all seen more than I did! She pointed at Jinichi. Didn't you have a vision of Ho-oh during your coma in Ilex Forest? Didn't you want his badge so you could visit her tower? Marina's finger went to Morty. Before Jinichi could respond, Marina looked to the gym leader. Weren't you just witness to 2 back-to-back miracles in National Park? 3 if you count those berries appearing. Well, yes, said Morty with a chastised look. Marina turned back to Gold, and he braced himself for the worst. However, her expression towards him was gentler, more sympathetic than he expected. Thank you for sharing how you feel, she said with an almost shy smile. Sometimes I forget that you're a little younger than me. You act so grown up already. I forget that there are things that scare you. Of course a hometown rejection would be frightening. Marina adjusted her backpack on her shoulders. That's why I'm going to stand with you, Gold, she declared brightly. I live here too. If Ekrutik turns its back on you, it can turn from me as well, for all I care. Morty stepped forward. That also goes for its gym leader, he stated with a smile. And its other league candidate, finished Jinichi, puffing out his chest. Gold smiled in spite of himself, and felt something slide down the side of his cheek. A single tear. He hurried to brush it away. Anxiety weighs down the heart, but a kind word cheers it up. All right, he said thickly, gathering himself and gripping his stick. Let's go home, everyone.